Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be discussing about Bitcoin, altcoins, short-term and long-term. Today a very important event for this week. I'm going to show you why, so stay with me until the end of the video. And also I'm going to show you why I'm still very bullish for the next few months, why I still believe, our season is going to come. So I'm going to show you today the data and everything that you need to know in order to succeed into this cryptocurrency market. Right now, as you can see, Bitcoin is stuck into this range over here in between 90,000 and 107,000. People are now in disbelief, in despair. They're so scared. They're saying like altcoin season is not going to come, but I beg to differ, and I'm going to show you why today. But yesterday, everybody was incredibly bullish. They're talking about that Bitcoin was about to go to 100,000, 200,000, 300,000. Altcoin season was about to start. For example, you can see that everybody was talking about the approval of Litecoin ETF approval, targets of $1,200 and all of that. Whereas, as you can see on my VIP group, guys, I was giving the signal to short Litecoin from this area over here. I went on a short here. I re-entered another short around 130, 131. I mean, guys, the results talk for themselves. Whereas everybody was so keen of saying, "Oh, we're gonna go now to $300, $200, whatever you want to call it." We just went and shorted Litecoin. So basically, because guys, the VIP group is the best, one of the best trading communities that you can find on the web. We come with the highest level of data analysis, trading calls, myself and my pro members, altcoin analysis every single day, Bitcoin analysis to understand what is happening right now with the market, as well as spot and long-term trading. So if you want to be part of this amazing community and start to make real money and really cut all this BS from so many people, what you have to do, you can over here on this page click join the VIP group. There is a link in the description. Watch this free trailer as well as our trading results for the past 10 months, which are one of the highest success rate ever. So if you want to join, guys, there is a link in the description. Also, let's go back into BTC and let's see where we are right now. So $96,149,000. We're stuck into this range over here. And that's what I can think is going to be their possibility. Today is going to be very important because we're going to have CPI report of measurement of inflation. It's going to be two potential events. Number one, the CPI is going to come lower than expectation, and we should be seeing BTC to go and try to reclaim this area around $105,000 to $106,000. They could actually be making lots of sense, especially because if we're going to have a low CPI, it will mean that the Fed is going to potentially cut interest rates in March. But we're going to see a bad CPI, then what we could be seeing could be another drop down to this area, perhaps to $87,000 to $88,000. But then I'm expecting a bounce coming from that area over there. And why am I expecting a bounce? Well, because at the moment, first of all, the fear and greed has been terrible, like has been incredible. The market is super fearful. Everybody's talking about these tariffs, the Fed not cutting interest rates and all that. And in general, whenever you see a market which is very, very fearful, usually the opposite happens. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see, for example, tonight maybe a little bit more of a downside down to $93,000 to $94,000, then an explosion to the upside once the CPI is going to be released. Of course, it's going to be dependent on the data, but that's what I want to see from there. But again, regardless, I believe that whether we're going to pump from here or have one more sweep to the downside, we should be seeing a relief rally coming very soon. So even if you have a look, for example, from here, we're going to see the Bitcoin liquidation heat map. I'm going to go and show you from this area over here. You can see that from like a macroeconomic macro point of view, we have two very interesting liquidation areas, we can say. Number one is around the 78 to $80,000 area, whereas we have also like a big clusters of liquidation around $130,000 to $131,000. So what I'm thinking about here, right, is that the market makers are probably going to try to take one and then the other, and the question is, which are they going to take first? Well, the good thing is that I'm not very concerned about which I'm going to take first, because as I explained so many times, I'm 60% into my stable coin. So if we're going to go down to this area and then reach around, let's say, $80,000, $85,000, then I'm going to load up my bags. But if we're going to go up from here to 120, 130 perhaps, then I'm gonna, of course, decrease my exposures in crypto. But at the moment, that's what I can see. We can also see, for example, from more like an intraday point of view, what's going on. We can go on the 4-hour chart to see, where we are, what is going to be the next move with BTC, guys. It's very confusing right now. We are just basically ranging and waiting for the CPI. Like lots of investors, I talked to some of my friends from UBS swapping bonds, and they were saying that everybody's basically on the sideline waiting for the CPI report to come to see what's happening with the tariffs. But even from here, you can see that we are forming like a sort of like compression stage. We have a line over here, we have another line over here, and then this one should resolve in approximation today. So basically, very, very simple. If you're going to go down and break to the downside here, then we should be seeing more downside to come, perhaps down to here, 87, 88,000. Or if you're going to be able to bounce and close above this area, we should be able to go and bring the price up to this area over here at, I don't know, 106 to $107,000. In general, the way I calculate how high we could go to is going to be around here. I like to go and utilize my Fibonacci retracement from the highest point to the lowest point, understand the pivot with the Fibonacci retracement from this point. And in general, I like to calculate the golden pocket area, which is sitting around the 61.8%, in between the 78 to the 61.8%, so between 102 to 105. So if you're going to see a good CPI today, what I could be expecting is going to be a retracement up to this area at around 102,500. So could be something like this, could be maybe push up to this level, and then we need to assess what's going to be happening next. And of course, guys, the VIP group already knows everything in advance. Why? Because we write everything in all the channels. We have everything in our Bitcoin analysis every single day, guys. And also I communicate with everybody. That's what we do. So that's what I can see. Good CPI, we could be pumping around this area, around $102,000, $102,500, and then we need to assess where we are. I'm not going to say we're going to see a good CPI, then we're going to go to the moon to 140,000, 200,000 Bitcoin, but we're probably likely to go and go retest this area. Then we need to see what are we going to see from here. We're going to see a rejection and then up again. Are we going to see a break from this area and then go up? I guess we had to see. But of course, if we're going to see a bad CPI, it's going to be more likely to go down first here and then have a climb back up. So that's going to be very good for our Bitcoins and altcoins. Now, talking about are we actually seeing from a data point of view a reversal right now? Well, that's a little bit, I would say, early to say that we're seeing a reversal. That's why I went and, as I showed you before, shorted altcoins because I could still see like a little bit of a selling pressure. Like for example, here in our in our trading results, I went and shorted like some shit coins, altcoins, sorry, because I could see um, some weakness in the market. I wasn't expecting strength, and therefore we made very good gains. And by the way, guys, if you want to find and trade with my same account, Bluefin, the same exchange, guys, this is the best, one of the best non KYC exchanges I ever found. Amazing, like no KYC, very fast execution. And right now they're running an amazing promo that's up to $20,000. You're getting 10% cash back, which is insane. Like 10% cash back, it means you're depositing $20,000 into your futures account. You're getting $2,000 in futures to trade. So if you want to join Bluefin, guys, there is a link in the description as well. You will not regret it. Very, very good company. I'm using it right now. I'm loving it. But anyway, let's go back into BTC. So that's the point of the situation with Bitcoin. We basically, discuss all the possible scenarios. Now, let's have a look as well what's happening as well, with the altcoins, why altcoins, where they are, what could be expecting next. So that's what I can see with the altcoins. We have a higher pivot around this area at $1.1 trillion. We have a lower range around $750 billion. Right now, we are stuck into this range. We lost this important channel at this point here. So we need to see what's going to be happening next. I would say that if we're going to see a best CPI today, there is a risk we could be going down to here and then potentially going higher. But if we're going to have a good CPI, we should be able to go and reclaim this channel. Okay, because the reason why I put a channel, a green box in this area, is the fact that I'm going to show you better on the daily that you can see we were into a range before. We went to a range, a potential double top. So people like to call it like that. So we were into this range from here to here. And now we are just trying to go back up at this level where we are basically finding resistance at this level. So what we need to do is to break the resistance and then go back to this area. Because otherwise, if it can't do that, then what we're going to be seeing is going to be another rejection down to here and then potentially go up again. So there's going to be quite interested to see what's going to be happening. But what I'm actually quite happy about the situation here with the altcoins is the following. So if you're going to go and have a look at the volume footprint, you can see that, first of all, before talking about the volume footprint, you can see that we had a beautiful retest of this previous level of resistance. So at the moment, macro-wise, you can see that we are just doing this and this and this, and then we should be supposed to go up if we're not going to break this area. But at the same time, utilizing our volume footprint, and I can bring it at this point here, you can see that I'm going to go and zoom in to show you what I can see from this level. Here we go. That's good. That's good. Why is it good? Because Bitcoin is going down now. Everybody's so scared. Altcoins are going down. And what I can see here, I can see positive delta. I can see 23 trillions, 12 trillions, minus 20, that's okay, plus 24, plus 92. That's good. Because it means that actually the big boys are buying right now. So if I would see, for example, like all the negative delta coming to this area, then I would be a little bit concerned. But right now, there's actually lots of positive delta, meaning that you can see from here right now that they're actually buying altcoins more than they're selling. So do they know something? To me, this is bullish, to be honest. If I see this, makes me bullish, especially on the weekly chart. That, of course, the week is not over. Anything could change. But if you're going to be able to close this candle with this 93,000 positive delta, that's actually very, very good. And that could be I will say, a suggestion that we could be seeing Bitcoin pumping to 120, stabilizes over there, and see finally like a little bit of analysis. So to be honest, to me, total free is actually looking good. So I guess we had to wait and see what's going to be happening. Now, let's also analyze a few other things which on the back of my mind to understand where we are in the cycle. First one is gold, guys. Gold, very important. Reason why BTC is going down right now is not so much because of the tariffs, not because of the CPI and all of that. Because look at the other markets. Gold is doing very well. S&P as well is doing very well. The Nasdaq, look at the Nasdaq, like it just wants to break all-time high. In general, whenever you see this kind of behavior, when you see gold going higher, Nasdaq going higher, it's simply because people took profits away from the crypto. From like altcoins and Bitcoin, and they're putting them into gold, into the S&P 500. So right now, that's what I think is happening. That's they put the money back into gold. They put the money back into the Nasdaq, and took money out from BTC and altcoins. That's why you can see this kind of behavior where Nasdaq and S&P 500 are going higher, as well as gold. But then once we're going to see a little bit of a consolidation from here, as well as a reversal in gold, then the money can flow back into crypto. Now, something also important to discuss as well is going to be about the DXY dollar currency index. Again, very, very high. Whenever this one is very high, that's usually not very good for crypto. So tonight, if CPI is going to come lower than expectation, then what we could be seeing could be a drop of the DXY down to this level here. So it's going to be potentially something like that. Then a drop down to 97 to 98. That's what we want to see, a full-blown all-season bull market. So we're going to see what is going to be the behavior for DXY. Right now, is sitting, we can actually zoom in a little bit more. We can zoom in a little bit, and we can see where we are. So right now, we're just basically consolidating a little bit, but the DXY is forming what we call a head and shoulder. You can see very clear there is a potential head and shoulder in place. And in general, that's actually quite bearish. So some people probably will say that a head and shoulder, I call this a complex head and shoulder, because you have a shoulder, a shoulder, a head, a shoulder, and a potential shoulder again. That's usually what is called complex head and shoulder, and this one breaks down, should bring it back to maybe 103 to 104 for the index. If that happens, it's going to be very good for stocks and crypto as well. Last one I want to show you today, very important, is going to be the US 10-year Treasury yield, which is going to be, of course, very important. We are now into a we were into a channel. For me, we went to a channel. We broke above the channel. We are now retesting this breakout. Looks like it's about to like he wants to retest it. In general, again, this one has formed, as I told you so many times, a head and shoulder. It went down. That's actually very good for stocks and cryptos. If this is going to continue to go down, then the Fed will probably have to cut interest rates. So basically, what I'm looking right now is that depending on the CPI today, if it's going to come lower than expectation, that's what we want. So we are going to see a possibility of a rate cut in March. So what markets are going to do, they're going to price in a higher chance of rate cuts, which is going to be reflected into risk assets. This on the US 10 years is basically whenever people buy government bonds, they want a yield like for example, 4.5% over 10 years. So instead of having their cash floating around and they don't want to go into risk assets, what they do, they put all the money into like fixed income. And then, of course, taking the money away from risk assets, putting them into fixed income, risk assets are going to go down. So in the case you're going to see this one going down as a leading indicator, it means that big boys are what are doing, they're taking money away from here and put them somewhere else, for example, into risk assets. So that's why I'm saying that you need to really all the time have a look at all of this, which of course, we explain all in our VIP group, guys, everything written over here. So that's what I can see right now. So CPI is probably going to drive this one down to here because we're going to have lower CPI because of the expectation of rate cuts coming in March, which is going to help to propose the price of crypto higher. But I guess we have to wait and see what is going to be happening today. Today, like US time, Wednesday, and then we're gonna go from here. And by the way, I'm going to release as well a video very soon about Ethereum and alt season, so you can also have a look what's happening with ETH. Still very bullish on Ethereum, so you can have an understanding where we could be going next. So subscribe to the channel, guys. You will not regret it. But otherwise, I wish you an incredible good day, and still very bullish on the market. Still thinking that alt season is going to come. But otherwise, I wish you a great day, and I'm going to see you in the next video.